Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and you may notice that this week is a little bit different because I'm showing a premium ship that you can buy in the shop. This is the Tiger 59. It is a meme of a ship because it has 4 guns. Its main battery is 4 guns. They're 152. Only shoots armor piercing. It has a great reload of 3.2 seconds and it has destroyer dispersion, meaning that the shells are very accurate. But it has 4 guns. No torpedoes, no secondary battery, only 4 main battery. Now if you look at the AA guns, you have 3 turrets, 3 twin turrets of 76mm guns. These technically could be secondary guns, but if they're secondary guns, they would be shooting HE. And 76.2mm HE only pens 13mm of armor. And at this tier, 13mm of pen would basically mean they are fire starters. They would probably be shooting really, really fast and might even be faster than the refresh rate of World of Warships, which is probably another reason why they didn't put them in as secondary guns, because as the name suggests, this was a cruiser built in, or as it was in 1959. So this is probably the most advanced, most modern cruiser, most modern ship in World of Warships as of now. And as the most modern ship, it's at tier 8. It's not a super ship. It's at tier 8, which should tell you a lot about this ship. Now, what it does have is smoke and radar at the same time. But yeah, at tier 8, as the most modern ship in World of Warships. Anyways, we're going to go into battle with this. It's not going to be me. I'm actually, this is a rare case of where someone did so well. We're going to show their battle. So without any further ado, let's hop into battle. So, ToxicSymphony here. ToxicSymphony here has graciously let me, or given me permission to showcase this battle on my channel. I normally don't ask for this. Normally I'm doing it because I wanted to explain how I am doing things and how my decisions make effects on how I play. But ToxicSymphony, I saw the replay before doing this, the map instant replay, and he's a really good player. He's not the best with ops. He doesn't know the ops the best. He actually comes to me for advice on the ops, but he is a really good player. Really, really good player. I think like 76% is his win rate. Might actually be higher. Just because he doesn't play randoms anymore. Or not he doesn't play randoms in a non-test ship. So here he is. He's getting the lead for these shells because they are so floaty. And it's also partly because of the aiming, because he's aiming to the left of the ship and they're hitting to the right because the aim bug. It's been for several patches now where it doesn't shoot where you're pointing, it shoots, the shells overcompensate into one direction or another. And so here he is, he's using the smoke screen. Now, because this is a middle spawn, you don't know which spawn is coming next, so sometimes actually being in the center and letting them come to you is good for the first spawn. Because if you go to one of the sides, you might not be able to shoot any of the ships before that they get to the harbor, the line of buoys. Now, about the Tiger 59, it has it only has armor piercing, so you don't have to choose which ammunition you're using. But because of that, it gets the British, what's it, the reduced arming fuse time and the increased pen angles. And of course it's British, so it has the speed boost built in for the ship. And then here is where Talon should have gone right instead of gone straight, because at this point you want to start getting broadsides. It's especially important to have broadsides with an armor piercing only ship, because if you're bow in, then there's a chance that you get more ricochets and non-pens. But if you have the broadside, you're going to do a lot more damage. This is just because of how angling works and how Wargaming did all this. Oh, angling. The whole angling thing came from reports from Germans where, oh yeah, we lost because the Russian tanks were angled, and that made it difficult for our shells to pierce them, and we didn't expect angled tanks, and so because our Tigers have flat sides, and so that's why we lost. When in reality they lost because of supply and command issues. But the West took on this, and all the documents became declassified, or were they even classified in the first place? I don't know. But anyways, because of those reports from the former Nazi soldiers, Wargaming started and put angling in their game. And the Russians, well, at the time those reports came out, it's the Soviet Unions, they weren't going to tell anybody that they were wrong. They're like, yeah, it was because of angling. That's why our tanks are so great. Soviet tanks are great. But reality, the steel was so poor quality that even a ricochet destroyed the tank. So, so many tanks got put out of commission. Russian tanks got put out of commission because of poor steel quality. Because they were trying to make so many with people who didn't really know how to make tanks and were just making tractors. Yeah. Anyways, enough about the angling. I could go on and on about that. So here we are. We're in a central position. Toxics in smoke. The only downside about being in this central position is the next wave of ships is going to be from the center. So after shooting, taking out things, he's going to have to move over to where those ships are to combat the ships in the center again. Especially since you have a battleship suiciding into the front. That is, when you go out, you don't go out to where the ships are, you go out to their flanks, not in front of them. Unless you're crazy like me. And and you have torpedoes, which Richelieu does not have torpedoes. So Toxic, actually, because he has a smokescreen, he's a little bit safe, and also the Tiger 59's pretty stealthy, which helps with that. But he's going to have a world of hurt in the little bit. Luckily, the ship comes with a super heal, so even if he takes a lot of damage and fires, then he can still heal back up quite a bit. Basically print a new ship. And he has 30 seconds before he can smoke back up. And the reason why you put out a single fire, you don't put out a double fire, is because the bots will shoot armor piercing at a broadside, and armor piercing cruiser fire at a Tiger 59 would delete it. And so you need to make sure there's a rock or something between you and the enemy, or you are not. Oh wait, this is a British ship. Even if you're bow in, armor piercing will still go through the nose. In that case, you need to be angled. He's using the heal even though he doesn't have to, just to keep it up. But the thing is, the heals are so overpowered that if you wait until you could get the full use out of the heal, then, well, the next shot might just delete you. And so keeping it up, keeping your health up is actually a better bet. Especially if you don't plan on taking that much damage in the first place with Smokescreen. Anyways, the reason why you wanted to go to where the ships were, the second wave of spawn, is because it's with the middle spawn, wherever the second wave is, that's where the cruisers will spawn. And the Des Moines and the 2 cruisers chasing it. And what's Cunningham? Now you know he's running Cunningham. Because he's gotten his 2 kills. I think it was 2 kills. I'll have to look at Cunningham's skills in a bit. I don't have Cunningham, so I don't know his skills very well. And so with that, the Shiratsuyu. So he was actually going in to chase the enemy, which, if you don't trust your teammates, is a good choice, rather than staying back and taking care of the cruisers as they spawn in. But yeah, normally, if your teammates are that close, they should be able to take care of them, and you can just go get closer to the cruisers that are spawning in. Not sure why he went off the Hipper first, but probably it was a bigger target. He might have also been expecting someone to just delete the Myoko out of existence, because that happens to Myokos a lot. And just right there, half of the Myoko's health disappears. And so the Tiger 59 has just an okay DPM, because it only has the 4 guns. So it's really, really, really difficult to carry, and here he is doing his best to carry. So if someone can carry and a ship with one of the lowest DPM, the lowest DPM for a cruiser, one of the lowest DPMs for a cruiser, then most any ship should be able to carry. Although, then again, being able to heal, having that super heal, and a smoke screen really helps. A smoke screen is very, very useful in ops, especially ones where you have enough distance to hide. Like this one, you only need 5.5 kilometers. Some ships you need less, like Huanghe, tier 6 cruiser. I think that's 4.5 kilometer before its firing range. For a smoke fire penalty, Flint is pretty low too. But Huanghe has 150s, but it only has 6 guns. And then Flint, it has 127s, so it's not as good DPM. But both have HE, so you can at least set fires too. Whereas Toxic here is just farming the Gneisenau. The And the radar there was to see where the destroyer was, see how close he was, and also to see if he was about to get detected while he's in smoke with the smoke fire penalty. Which the answer was it was getting close, so even with 20 seconds left on there, he's going ahead and vacating the smoke screen so he can shoot at the destroyer while at the same time seeing it, because the destroyers have a sub 3 kilometer smoke fire penalty. And here he is with targeting everything. I guess after deleting one of the torp tubes off of a destroyer, it kind of does make sense to go after something else. Also, the ships out there will target the forts before. They target the nearest allied thing with a gun. Can't say call it ships. But yeah, they target the nearest allied thing with a gun. So if a fort is closer to the enemy ships than you, then they'll target the forts for some reason. They obviously won't send torpedoes at it, but it helps with the gunfire. Especially since they have the bug of where they shoot underneath where the fort is. Like they aim under the fort and not actually at the fort. So if they're destroying a fort, it's because the shell didn't go where the AI is aiming. That, or they shot from so far away that they are the shells are falling down on top rather than having a flat angle. But if it's a very flat angle and they're up close, they're not going to hit the fort. They're going to hit the ground underneath it. So now at this range, you can see that the Musashi there is not going to come. It's going to be a while before it gets within Toxic's smoke firing penalty. So he has plenty of time to farm on this rune. And then he'll have plenty of time to farm on the Musashi as it comes in. Since his team was often out of position for things. And we already had 3 of them go out and die. Then again, sometimes Musashi you can just say, no, you're dead. Just look at somebody and decide that it's your day to die, because bots, especially in ops, have so much better aim than players. Sometimes they'll miss, sometimes they have weird shooting where they will shoot at somebody else while they're locked on to... They'll shoot at player A while locked in onto player B, and it causes wonky things. But it's okay. Like here, Toxic's aiming behind the Musashi and it's still hitting the upper belt rather than the deck or the superstructure. Which with a 32mm upper belt, anything anywhere on the upper belt or deck is actually pretty good for that because they're all pen. So already moving on to the Nagato. I just want to point out the damage and the number of shells he's hit. I mean, at first, yeah, his aim was off, but within the match, he's really gotten the hang of this ship. And another thing is, while he plays, he's a super tester, he hasn't really played the Tiger 59. As far as I know, he has not played it before. And he has just only recently acquired it. It was from a super container. He was going to use a coupon for it, but he didn't have to because the super container gave it to him. But there you go. A very well played match. Probably the best played match in a Tiger 59. I dare any of you to do better than this. 801 shell hits for almost, just shy of 400,000 damage with 7 kills. And that's partly because he let the kills go, because he knew something would die and would go ahead and focus on the next target. And there he is, top of the team with over 600 basic speed more than the Mines. And everybody knows Mines is overpowered. Probably the best boat for ops at the moment. And Tiger 59 is a meme of a boat. Yet here we have Toxic outdoing a Mines by a lot. And so the detailed report is very simple, because you only have armor-piercing shells. No torpedoes, no nothing, just a little bit of AAs, and half a mil potential damage. Probably a decent amount from the torpedoes that he dodged. And only 40k damage taken. See, 5 armor-piercing shells. With that much damage, something hit a Citadel. Yeah, 65,000 damage to the Musashi, which he did not kill. 44k to the Nagato, which he did not kill. 32k to the Gneisenau, which he did not kill. See, destroyed by fire. Destroyed by fire. That's not. You can't set fires. It's physically impossible to set fires in this ship. You could set a flood, possibly, once. Maybe twice if you have a ramming flag and you go on a destroyer. But yeah, it's impossible to set fires with this ship. And so that is an amazing battle with one of the worst ships that you can bring into ops at tier 8. And somehow, I still see people doing well. It's probably because the only people who would actually bring these ships in anywhere are just really good at other ships, and so they bring beam ships as a handicap and still do well. If you have any questions, any comments you want a ship to show or whatnot, just let me know. Next video, I'll probably be showcasing the Halloween op, because it's on the public test server. So I'll be doing that. If there's a specific ship that you want in the Halloween op, let me know and I'll try and do what I can. I hope you have a good one. I hope to see you next week. Feel free to like and subscribe.